Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. In today's episode we're going to be converting the roof on the pickup into a station wagon. So, as you might be able to hear, it is raining, which always seems to be the case when we're changing roofs. Roofs, I don't know how you say it, but anyway. Now, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you might have seen in the past, and I'll put a link up above, of where we actually converted his TD5 90 pickup into a soft top, a full soft top, which meant that we removed the roof and the rear door from his TD5. Now, he's had that in storage, and I've done a bit of a deal with him, and so that is the roof that we're going to be fitting today onto our pickup. Now, it's not enormously difficult, this job. It's made more difficult because of the rain, and I'm not sure if I've got all the hardware we need, because obviously when we took the old one off, I don't know how careful we were with keeping all the hardware. Anyway, I've bought a few bits of hardware with me. The main thing I'm really worried about is the seal across the top of the windscreen frame, because I need that to be sealed for the drive back, the 4-hour drive back, because it's probably going to rain and I don't want water pouring into the cab and down into the dash and all that. So that is a bit of a concern, but you can see I've got to take all the headlining off, and that will expose all the bolts we need to remove to get the cab off. And then it's literally a case of driving around the corner to storage, get the roof dropped on, and then we're going to get it bolted down. Now, the other little issue we have is when we did the conversion to Simon's pickup into a soft top, we used a side opening tailgate. So we actually utilised his old latch, his door latch, his tailgate latch, which means that we don't have one on that door, and I forgot about that. So I don't have a latch for the tailgate door. I'm going to try and speak to work now, to lrparts.net. I'm going to give them a ring, see if they can get one to me for tomorrow morning on an AM delivery, so that I can just fit that quickly before I drive back. Fingers crossed, otherwise I'm going to have to sort of use a ratchet strap or something just to keep it closed. But it'd be nice to get the job done properly. So there's not going to be seals and things like that. It's a very rough and ready install, but I'm doing it because when we get back to Liverpool, the roof's going to come off and the vehicle's going to be painted. That is a really exciting stage of the build. Now, one bonus to actually taking all of this headliner out and putting the new roof on was it doesn't smell anymore. It absolutely stunk of cigarette, cigar smoke, pipe smoke, I don't know what it was, but it's amazing how much odour these, things just soak up. The inside now smells so much better, so they'll have to give that a really good clean before we reinstall that into the truck cab. All the bolts are off, and we've just scored along the top of the Defender. We've now just got to drive around and quickly whip it off. But yeah, easy enough. Well, I can't believe this weather. It's typical, isn't it? So it's now finished the job and it stopped raining, so that's great. But anyway, really pleased how it's gone on. It just goes to show you how easy it is to modify and change the look on these Defenders. Obviously there's a TD5 roof on here on a TDCi, bolted on no problem at all. Got a few little bits and pieces just to touch in. I'll show you inside what we did. Apologies for not filming much of it, but it was just too wet. But I'll go through all the details now, what we did on the inside, on the outside, just to give you an idea of just how easy it is. One of the things you've got to make sure of when you're swapping the roof is that you've got a rubber seal in the front here that meets the frame of the windscreen. So it's like this. This is the one out of the truck cab that dropped out. So I'm going to keep that obviously for the truck cab. Ours was installed, so we had that in place. And the other thing is also the foam gaskets around the tub. That's really important to stop any water coming in. You can just see them in there. Now we should have a couple of additional brackets in the middle here just to pin that down through here. So that'll be something we'll put on later on. It needs a good clean inside, that's for sure. So also, now that we've got our sort of truck cab off, you'll notice that this seat is already further back, but I've taken those brackets off the bulkhead, those ones there, and it's going to give me a chance to now put, this is the seat. Now I deliberately put the driver's seat on the passenger side, and that is because once I've got here and done everything, I was going to then put this seat back over there for the long drive back, because it's higher up, because it's on those mud seat risers. It's going to be up, back, and I can also recline it beyond the top of the bulkhead, so it should be perfectly comfortable. So all I've got to do is just take this one out, take that frame out, swap them over, and we'll see what it looks like. We've got our new seating position. Now that can definitely be improved by removing the bulkhead, but for now I'm fairly happy with that for the ride home. So you can see here, look, we have got fixings. They're not great. This one here is the original one that came off the truck cab, and this one is the old one, which we might renew if we can find some nicer ones. And that's the same with right at the back of the cab there, just near the door. We've actually got some very old bolts, but they're just super hard to get in and out. So anyway, when we get the roof off again, ready for paint, and it all gets straightened out and we strip it down, we'll get all new hardware. But for now, we're pretty much ready to go. And I did want to show you just what the difference is for my knees. Look, even better still. So you can see there, my knees are not touching. And yeah, just generally, it feels like a much nicer place to be. And it's not that noisy. Obviously, we're going to have a headliner in here. It's got some carpet in the back, which is helping. That'll come off because we've got a proper brand new black headliner from Volt going in with all the trims on the sides, the plastic trims inside as well with the new windows when we fit those. It's going to be completely transformed. Right, well, morning all, here we are. This is my little package that's come from LR Parts, and I'm going to be putting a rear latch onto the door. So what we've got here is the full latch assembly, all greased up. That'll give me the ability to lock it. When I get back, I'll put a barrel in and probably get that to match. And then we've got our striker as well. So one thing I don't have, which is a bit of a shame, is I should have the backing plate, the captive plate that sits behind there. I haven't got that today, so I'm just going to have to use washers and some nuts, but it'll get me home and it should all work okay. So let's get this in first. Right, so this isn't really how it should be done, because we should also have a gasket that sits on this around here, but we haven't got that today, but we will get that in the future. Your threads are all captive on here, so let's get a little bit of copper slip on there. So I've got some spring washers I can use. Again, I'm a little bit against it here with what I've got that's usable, but these will do the trick. So I rang up the office about lunchtime yesterday, and they said anything I needed, I need to let them know before 2:30. So I added a rear seal, and that was here before 10. Okay, that was easy. A little bit close to this side, so I'm hoping if I loosen things off a little bit, I'll be able to get it centralised in there. And then you can just see there, look, I've got an even gap around there, so I will be able to find that eventually, but that's all good for now. At least it's in the right place. So we're going to shut our door like so, get our striker engaged, just score the top and the bottom, release it, I hope, otherwise I can't get out. There we go. Now if I compress those up nicely, that will squish that a little bit for me. We'll make it easier to go in. It's not going to compress much, but it'll be enough. And then we can release it once the door's shut. So you have got slots again, so you get it positioned in, you should be able to move it out. So I'm going to drill the holes to the innermost point. I'm going to basically drill as far over this way as I can, and then that'll allow me to move the striker where I need it to. Okay, there we go. It's a bit tight and it's a bit too closed, if I'm honest. There we go. And you should be able to see, got quite a bit left over here, so let's get that trimmed. And then make sure you've got these little shards of metal that will come out of the actual door seal itself, so just make sure you don't catch your fingers on those. There we go. Are you ready? There we go. Now I think it's probably pulling it in too far still. If I wanted to, I could trim some of that door seal back a little bit, and that would allow this to come out. But what I'm thinking is, when I get my gasket on that door, that's going to make the catch further away from the door, so it won't actually close as tight. So I think that's going to be good enough for now. So yeah, that was about 10 minutes and we're all sealed. And the importance of doing that for this trip back is I would have got fumes coming back through the cab if I hadn't put a rear door seal on there. So I thought I'd have a little stop and just check on our other project. Here it is at the garage, and Gavin has actually cleaned it. And do you know what? It doesn't look half bad. And have a quick look around it now. It looks so much better now it's been washed. I mean, it is looking an improvement. He's only really sort of whizzed around it with the jet wash. You can see, look, the roof's still green. But doesn't that look better than it was? I mean, obviously that's its best side. We go around here, we'll see that big amount of damage that we need to deal with. But yeah, it's not going to polish up, but it definitely looks better than it was. So if those of you, if you haven't seen the video on this vehicle, I'll do a little link above just to sort of send you over to where we actually sort of looked around this and picked it up as a project. And hopefully it's going to be something that's going to be with us probably in about 6 weeks, I'm guessing, if we're lucky. Gav's got all the bits, so he's ready to do the work once he's got a space in the workshop. But, oh, has he got it to lock? Well, he's done something to it. I don't know what he's done to it, but can't get into it, so that's a good sign. But yeah, if we can find Gavin, we can find out what the plan is. But I'm actually quite surprised how good it looks now it's been washed. So it was my intention to convert this into a pickup, and we were going to use the cab that we've just taken off our 90 there, and we were going to put that on here and run it as a pickup. But now I'm looking at it, I'm wondering whether we should leave it. So I think you guys need to help me make that decision. Do we leave it as basically a 110 hardtop, or do we turn it into a 110 pickup? I mean, the body's actually fairly straight. I can't believe how straight those side panels are, really. And do you know what? I don't even mind the roof rack now. It's all cleared up and it's not got loads of tyres in it. I reckon if we got that off and rubbed it down, that would paint up quite nicely. We could put the spare wheel back on the front and it would look pretty awesome. Get some seats in the back maybe, I don't know. So what do you think? What do you want to see out of this 110? Do you want to see it as a pickup, or do you want to see it as a hardtop? Let me know in the comments and then we'll see where we go from there.